Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Mindi and the Mic. I am so excited to bring you episode 2 of my relationship series with Moriah and José. I met them both in my city group at Providence Church, and it's been just such a blessing and a joy to get to know them both. I asked Moriah if she wanted to come on the podcast with her husband right after our one-on-one podcast about her being an esthetician and being a CEO. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. This episode is full of laughs, real life stories, and genuinely solid advice about communication and relationships. They've shared how they've grown together. They got married pretty young. I think they got married at 20, but if that is wrong, Mariah will tell me later. But they've shared how they've grown together, learned to navigate conflict with grace, and stay connected through the highs and lows. They're both pretty different personalities. José is an introvert and Mariah is an extrovert. And they just kind of talked more about their dynamics with that. Whether you're single, dating, or married, there's something in here for you. And if you love the content that we're creating, we would be so grateful for your support on Patreon. We hire freelance audio and video editors to make sure every episode sounds great and flows smoothly. And your support really helps us deliver quality content each week. The link to support is in the show notes. And thank you so much for being a part of this journey. So let's dive into episode 2. I'm Mindi, and I have a microphone. So this must be Mindi and the Mic from Stigma to Connection. Let's have a conversation. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming on Mindi and the Mic. I am with Moriah and José. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Thank you so much for being on my relationship kind of new theme of a podcast.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to just be here and to get to know you guys as a couple.
We're really excited too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Very excited.
Okay, so how did you guys first meet?
Well, we went to like middle school and high school together. So like I kind of always knew about her, but
we didn't really start. I feel like we had a class together my sophomore year of high school, and we sat next to each other and we talked a little bit, but we really started as friends. Like we truly had no interest in each other at all. Not that we didn't like each other, but it just was never a thought, at least on my end. But then our junior year, we started talking a lot more. He had posted a Foster the People, that's a band song, on his Instagram story, and I like Foster the People. So I had swiped up and was like, oh my gosh, I love Foster the People. And we just started sending each other music, and then slowly it turned into conversation. We started going, I had brought him to church, and then that's kind of when he started his faith journey. And so we were pretty good friends for maybe 10 or 11 months before we actually started dating. However, the few months before we were dating, we were basically dating just without a title. Yeah. So it was a little loosey-goosey, but that was also 2020. So COVID kind of just made dating hard, and we were high school sweethearts. Yeah. So I mean, we were under our parents' rules at that point, and we started really liking each other right before COVID hit. And so at that point, everybody was just kind of freaked out, but we'd go on runs together because that was, my parents wanted us to only see each other outside, so there was no less of a chance of COVID spreading. And so I think it was the most bit I've ever been in my entire life, because the only way I could see a cute boy is if I ran with him. So I was very fit.
We did play Minecraft together.
We did play Minecraft a lot on Zoom.
On Zoom.
Yeah,
on
Zoom. Hours.
Yep.
Hours.
Xbox or
Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We'd play Minecraft servers, and then we'd play mini games and stuff, but we'd also
We're pretty good.
Survival. So I'm pretty good.
No. You told me you were surprised how good I was at PvP.
Did you?
I'm good at video
Did you
games.
play Minecraft because you liked Minecraft too, or because you wanted to spend time with him?
Oh, I like Minecraft too.
Okay.
Yeah, we both liked Minecraft.
We both grew up on Minecraft.
Yeah, we're that generation, I guess. Just that age where it was getting big as we were maybe late elementary, middle school.
No, it was all elementary school for me.
That's probably true. For me.
For me, at least. So.
Do you remember when that you started to actually like each other when it became from friendship to like romance, or no?
I do.
I remember, yeah. Yeah.
What
It,
was it?
it was
It was our campus life leader had a Super Bowl party. And when I was sitting on the couch next to her, I kind of just like looked at her and realized, oh, she's actually really cute. And like I and I like was just like staring at her, and I like was like just like caught in a trance or something. It's like I couldn't move.
Oh my god!
And she kept asking, she goes, what? And I just couldn't move. So it was like,
wow.
yeah, I was like paralyzed.
Well, so like we were really good friends, like starting fall of 2019.
Yeah,
Like we were
yeah.
talking a lot. We were like, I mean, I was giving him girl advice. He was giving me boy advice. Like there really truly was no interest at all. And then campus life was like kind of like a youth group we were
Yeah.
in high school, like a
Yeah.
churchy type group. And so I had all of the campus life people over to my parents' house for like a New Year's party. And so I don't know, I was just looking at him and he had like smiled, and I had turned to my best friend and whispered to her, like, he's actually really cute.
Oh.
And I literally was like, why have I never realized he was cute? Like I've
Because
been
you guys
looking at
were
him for months.
You were talking before, right?
We were talking before,
Yeah.
but like it like clicked, and I just was like so confused. And she's like, yeah, I mean, he has a really nice smile. Like, and I just was like, oh. And so apparently you kind of picked up on the fact that I was
I realized later I'm not very good at picking up on things. So
well, but you had noticed that I'd like touched your shoulder or something.
yeah, I thought
And
that was strange.
yeah, and so you told me before that you kind of like wondered a little bit, but then
I
later that month, it was late January when we were at the Super Bowl party, and we were sitting on the couch, and I hate honestly, I hate cheesiness.
Okay.
I don't do like, I mean, I do like a good rom-com. It's not generally what I go for, but like I'm not one to be like super cheesy romantic novel, like ooh, like I want it to be
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
But so I almost kind of like think this is cute and hate it at the same time, because I'm like, "Ugh, it's so cheesy. This is so like cliche." But we literally were sitting on the couch and we both looked at each other, and it was just like this like weird look we gave each other. And I think, did you realize that at that moment I liked you?
No.
Oh, I realized at that moment he liked me. And I realized at that moment, like, I actually did really like him. So it was like an intense
So
moment.
it was like the mutual moment of like, oh,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
like
yeah.
each other.
I didn't know it was mutual at the time. I just
You were just like, oh,
I thought
like
I
Yeah.
knew it was mutual.
well, I again, I'm not very good at picking up on things,
Well, you
so
picked up on me touching your shoulder, which was pretty impressive.
I just thought it was strange.
It wasn't like in a weird way. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. No. It was like a yeah.
For those who are listening on Spotify, they're demonstrating right now.
Yes.
So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and then I know that you guys like technically met in middle school. Like you knew of each other in middle school.
I knew of her, yeah. She was kind of not ever in my sphere.
Okay.
We
of
like ran
influence.
cross country together.
Do you
right?
I did
know-
not run cross country in middle school.
Oh, that was high school.
Okay.
Never mind.
Do you know each other's first impressions of each other?
I didn't really I just knew she was one of those people that like
What does that mean?
she was
Jose?
like one of the people that like I kind of considered like background characters like in middle school,
like an NPC.
yeah, like an NPC, yeah, where it's like this person probably is a real person, but I can't be sure, type of thing. Where it's like they might be programmed because she was just like, I don't know, she like did all the sports and stuff,
No, I
and like she ran cross country and stuff, and I'm like, okay, she might be real, she might not be, and all I knew was that she wasn't, I didn't really think anything of her, so.
You're gonna get so many views on TikTok just by that one statement.
That was insane, babe. I think some people would think that was like a terrible thing to say, but I know what he means.
I think it's funny.
And he's just not always the most graceful with his words, and honestly, I'm not either. But that's one of the reasons we work out together, is we think it's funny. Like we're
that's just how I thought in middle school.
like we're
I don't think there's NPCs nowadays, but like in middle school, I was like, okay,
You're categorized by people,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like this is
yeah.
the main character.
Yeah, yeah.
NPC, yeah. villain.
My thoughts on you were also pretty interesting.
Dun dun dun.
He was, and he admits to this, and he is fine with me saying it, but he was definitely like the nerdy gamer kid who was a little naughty.
I was a gamer. Yeah.
He was a gamer,
I am a
and
gamer
not
still.
that like I like judged gamers, but like you were pretty awkward.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
sat
I
next
still
to him
am.
sophomore year, and I mean, he would say really weird things to me, and I kind of was like, okay, like not like scared of you, but a little bit like, this dude's really weird. He says really interesting things. So like our first impressions of each other, I guess, apparently are maybe not the greatest. I don't know. Middle school is an awkward time. So I feel like when you know someone through middle school, it's just like,
I don't remember anything about middle school. Honestly,
I don't really either.
I don't remember any of my teachers' names.
We both thought each other were essentially, I guess, weird.
Do you remember your?
I didn't think she was weird. I thought she was like, there was a group of people that was like too normal, and I was like, but I didn't know. But here's the thing: is I was prejudging them because I didn't actually know them.
Yeah.
So
okay,
is what I'm saying. It's not a good.
The church girls.
No, not really. I
the
didn't
normies.
Really, yeah, the like NPCs.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't popular.
No. But like there were the popular people were like in a separate group.
Is it kind of like in Grand Theft Auto? There's like people walking down the street.
Yeah.
Like you're not really supposed to kill them, but they're just kind of there.
Yeah. Kind of like.
We're talking about killing.
No, we're not trying.
We're talking about.
We're talking like a metaphor.
Like in a video game.
I don't know what other video game has NPCs. Maybe Animal Crossing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Do you guys remember your first date?
Yeah, it was at we went to so one of them could have been Panda Express, but what we say is our first date is Lords and Gardens, and so I remember that we took a lot of pictures and stuff.
So when we like had first started dating, I was a little bit prideful. I was like, I was hesitant. I was like, you're cute. At the time, my thoughts on you, I was like, I know you play a lot of video games, and he didn't like have a job and a car, and I've always had a very high like.
Wasn't he like 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, I had a job, and
that's fair. I had a job when I was 15, so
I had a job when I was 15 too, and I just was like, I don't know. I guess I wasn't messing around. Like in hindsight, I'm like, okay, this sounds really bad, but I was like, how about we wait until you have a job and a car before we start dating? Because I was like, I don't want to be the one driving you around and paying for dates.
That's fair.
And so I don't know if that was like a bad thing to say, but I just kind of had a high standard. And that wasn't supposed to take long because he was already kind of like looking for a job, saving for a car. So, I mean, it shouldn't have taken long. But since we started liking each other in late January and then COVID hit early March, it's like it took longer. So, I mean, that's why I'm like, there were a few months where we were like kind of dating. Like we definitely were flirting with each other. We were definitely talking a lot. We were playing video games together almost every day for multiple hours. We were going on runs together. We were getting snow cones together. Like I had a couple friends who were like, I almost like disagreed with the fact that we were doing that because they were like, you're essentially dating, which was true. Understand why they thought that. You know, like it kind of was just like a not super black and white, like the world is going crazy. I don't know. But so our first date was when the day was it the day you got a car? Like the day after?
It was the day after I got it.
Yeah, he got a car and then he had a job. And so like basically the next day we like went to Panda Express because we were just like, yay, you have a job and a car. So then like since I had kind of been like, I'll date you when you have a job and a car, we were like, we wouldn't call each other girlfriend, boyfriend now, even though we're not going on a cute first date. So we went to Panda Express, and then a few days later, we went to Lords and Gardens. So
it was the next day we went to Lords and Gardens.
Yeah, so usually we consider that our first date, and that was a lot of fun. We actually ended up getting engaged there, and then on our wedding day.
Not the next day, right?
No.
Just under 2.5 years later. Yeah. And then we actually, on our wedding day, we had a morning ceremony and a brunch reception. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I did not know that.
So it wasn't a super long wedding, and we had 8 hours of photo coverage. So they were like, do you guys want to go anywhere, take pictures? So we went to Lords and Gardens, and we took pictures there too.
Yes.
In our wedding fits. So lots of lords and gardens.
Yep.
How did you know that this is the person that you kept wanting to see?
She was just very nice and fun, I guess.
Became less of an NPC.
Yeah. She was very nice and fun, and I just like enjoyed being around her, I guess. Yeah.
My depression was really, really bad in
Yeah.
2020, especially like that
COVID.
summer, just with it still being, I think at that point it was still locked down, or even if it wasn't, it was like you weren't really going many places. And I have always been someone where like, I mean, I've struggled with depression off and on my entire life. And a big thing that's been hard for me is being alone or like not being around people a lot. And so I was really, really struggling, and he could definitely see that. I was not really like I was embarrassed by it, but we were talking enough that I wasn't really going to hide it from him either.
Yeah.
Cuz it was such a big part of my like day to day. And yeah, I mean it was really bad. And every single day he would like I would message him and I'd just be like, "Man, like I'm really really not feeling good today." And he would always like drop whatever he was doing. He would call me.
Oh.
He would pray for me. He would read the Bible to me if I told him I didn't want to read. He would just like sit on the phone with me as I'm like bawling my eyes out, like in such a bad place. I wouldn't really let anybody else see me
Yeah.
like that. And he was just like so consistent in wanting to care for me. And I mean, it was like pretty much every day. And it made no sense that he wasn't like getting sick of it or like getting tired or like wanting to like not call me or not read to me or not pray for me. And so at that point, obviously, like we hadn't been dating long. We were so young that it's not like I was going to tell him, like, oh my gosh, we're totally getting married. But it kind of clicked in my head that I was like, oh,
This makes
like
sense.
he's
yeah.
really like sacrificing a lot of his time and he's really caring about me in this hard season. Like, that's definitely a quality of someone that I would maybe like want to
He was
marry.
your best friend too.
And so yeah, since then, I mean, he's always cared for me so well. He's very loving.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job, Jose.
Thank you.
I feel like we balance each other out a lot. I'm very emotional. I'm quite dramatic. Jose's not quite as
Nope.
emotional. He's not quite as dramatic. And so I feel like our strengths and our weaknesses are so polar opposite, and our personalities, that they almost just like balance each other back out, or I feel like we push each other to grow.
Are you the
Yeah.
extrovert and he's the introvert?
Couldn't you tell?
Yeah, for sure.
That being said, what do you like to do together? Like your favorite things to do, favorite activities these days?
Yeah, we like to go on walks. We like to hike. We like to play board games. We have a lot of board games. And we also like to watch a lot of reality TV. So
Like what?
We have been watching a lot of Big Brother and Survivor.
Oh, I love Big
Those are-
Brother. It's so
I didn't know
fun.
that.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that.
We
yeah,
will.
I got him into all of that, and I'm very glad that you do like it, because it is kind of what
it's entertaining.
Yeah, it's fun to like have something that we both like to do. That like it feels kind of lame to say we both like reality TV and we do that together, but like at the end of the night, it's a way we can both relax, So I like that we have something we like where like we can just do it together and relax at the end of like a stressful work day or something like that.
Yeah.
But then hiking is fun too. We like to be outdoors.
Do you have
a
the same preferences, like the same music taste?
I'd say our music taste is very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not identical, but
I think it was more similar when we first started talking than it is now, but we're both pretty like, I would say you're a little bit better than me at this, but our music taste is pretty broad. We generally like alternative, folk, indie music, probably more alt indie rock. But I feel like we're like in the same genres, but like different ends of the
Yeah,
spectrum. So there's
yeah.
like definitely some overlap, and we definitely are fine with listening to the person's like other
yeah.
music and still enjoy it. But
yeah, I mean, I like all kinds of music. So.
yeah.
Awesome. Are you guys more of a stay in or go out kind of couple?
I definitely. Well, I don't know. It depends what we're going out to do.
I would say
I'd say we're more stay in.
We're more stay in.
Yeah.
I'm an extrovert, but I am homebody as well. And so even though I'm an
And
extrovert,
I'm just an introvert, so
like it kind of just works out. So I think some of our favorite things to do are like have friends over to play board games, or watch reality TV.
yeah,
Go to coffee shops. I mean, that I guess that's going out.
that's going out. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had to work a lot around our schedules the last few years because he is still in school
Okay.
and I'm
yeah.
working, and so our hours are a little bit rough to like work
Yep.
dates around. It's possible, but it's usually like very specific times. So a lot of the time we have been confined to like staying in because
Yeah.
we're both free at 7 p.m. on a weeknight, and at that point it's like you can go get dinner, but like
There's really
it's
nothing
kind of
else to do.
late.
Yeah.
So we've been able to like come up with like a lot of creative ideas, like getting Sonic and like walking around Zarinsky, or just really going on walks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What's something that you didn't expect to enjoy but you like doing together?
I'd probably say reality TV, watching TV, because I don't really
That's
watch
fair.
I don't really watch TV because I don't find it to be stimulating enough for my
Yeah.
brain. That's why I play video games.
That's fair. It's more
Um,
interactive.
yeah, and so that's why I didn't really ever watch TV before I met her. But watching TV is fun now with somebody when it's something that like I can be into. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Would you say the same thing, Moriah?
I would say so. I mean, I knew I liked reality TV before. I'm gonna go more the board game route. He has some board games that he liked that, like when we got married, he brought to the apartment, and I was like, ugh. Like, why would I ever want to play Risk Europe? I enjoy Risk Europe. I can't come up with any
Good
big
for you.
examples.
I can't do Risk. It's too
You
long.
can't do Risk?
It's too long.
It is very long. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so fun. Oh my goodness. How do you guys communicate? Like, I know that's a really broad question, but
Mhm.
like in my example with Nick and I was a lot more like, I don't know, expressive, affectionate,
Mhm.
etc. And Nick is a lot more chill, reserved, kind of
Mhm.
articulate. So like, how would you guys say you communicate as a couple?
I'd say it's probably it's close to the same for
Yeah.
us. She's definitely more of the expressive person.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think we like one thing we do is we pray for each other every night before
Oh,
we go to bed, which is a really good habit to be in. But then I feel like a lot of times if there's something we haven't like brought up that's on our minds or is like stressing us out, that's often when like we ask for prayer for it. And then the other person's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were struggling with that. Like, let's talk about it." So I feel like that almost like starts a lot of conversations, or even if it's not started by a prayer request, like that's just kind of when we talk at the end of the day. Not that we don't throughout the day, or like if something's bothering us before, but it's really when we kind of like check in with each other.
yeah, a
yeah,
good check-in point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there ways that you tend to generally miscommunicate, and how do you deal with them?
I'm really bad at communicating my emotions and how I feel, and so it could be that's pretty much like the main thing that happens is I'll feel a certain type of way, but I can't really describe it. You know what I mean? So
And then I don't want to be prideful. I'd say I'm pretty in tune with my emotions generally.
well,
I feel
I'm not
emotions very strong.
I'm not in tune with my emotions. I just can't describe them to other people, which is I think where it comes
Yeah.
because like I do feel things.
Well, no, I'm not
I
saying
know,
you don't
I know,
feel
I
things.
know.
Okay.
I know. I do feel things, and I do have strong emotions. I just can't always describe them to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a lot of that comes from. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my emotions can be kind of a lot because I feel like when I am feeling them too, like I'm very visually feeling them. Like if I'm sad, I'm crying.
you express your emotions more
Yeah.
freely than I do.
Yeah. I feel like when we were first married, I did struggle a lot because I didn't really pick up on the fact that you weren't able to like fully communicate all of your emotions. And so when he was feeling something, he wasn't able to communicate, but there was still like a behavior that came from it. I didn't understand like where that was coming from.
Right.
And we communicate very differently in conflicts. He is someone who needs time to process, and it took me a while to understand that because honestly, like, I would rather talk now. Like, I would rather I don't want to say I'd rather, like, fight because I don't wanna fight, but, like, I wanna get to it. I wanna
Yeah,
get
get to
through it.
the
Like, I
issue.
would rather have a hard conversation now, but, like, I'm also able to, like, process things a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, faster.
Um, and so that was something I struggled with at first was giving him time when I was like, "No, I wanna figure this out now." Like,
Are
"No."
you more of an internal processor
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
you're an external?
Mhm, mhm,
I have
Yeah.
to think a lot before I
Talk?
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
And I think while I talk, so
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly,
Not, yeah.
exactly. And so, like, even though I want to think out loud to him,
yeah.
and it's hard for me to not because that is how I think, like, I have to respect him and his space. And, like, it's not like I need to talk it out, like, now, right? Like, I want to, but so I just give him a little bit of space. I give him some time alone. I mean, we're pretty good about being like, hey, even if we're upset, like, I love you, we're gonna be okay. Like, even if we are literally upset at each other, just giving the other that reassurance so that I'm not like spiraling while he's thinking. And I'm like, well, what if he doesn't love me? What if he doesn't? Yada, 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 yada. Cause it's just obviously I know none of that's true. But like I said, like I'm just such an external processor
Yeah.
that when I'm stuck internally, it kind of is something that can spiral or I start to have thoughts that aren't true when I know they're not true.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I feel like that little bit of reassurance is really helpful. I think we learned about that at like a marriage conference or something.
Yeah.
Super,
Yeah.
super helpful
Very helpful.
is just like, even if you process things differently, like just, I love you. Like just saying something like, we're okay. And then coming back to it later.
Yeah. Saying like, I love you, but I'm gonna go sit in the other room for a little bit.
Yeah, and so now I don't take it as personally, whereas when we were first married and, like, we were really learning how to communicate and weren't the best at it, like, I would take offense to that. Like,
What, him
I
going sing in another room?
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand fully, like, what he was doing or that he needed that time to process, and again, like, I would wanna talk it out. So when he was like, I need to go sit in a different room," I took it as, like, like, you
Why are
think of,
you
like,
leaving
when
me
people have a
alone?
fight and, like,
Yeah.
he goes and he sleeps on the couch and stuff like that, which he's never done, it's not like that, but, like, that's how I saw it, is, like, you're abandoning me, you're leaving the situation, I feel like you're leaving me, even though you're not, you know? And so I just really had to learn to understand a different perspective on that or like a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah, yeah. And so I guess moving on to conflict.
Mhm.
How do you guys deal with conflict, or what does a conflict really look like in your relationship? Kind of like that, how you both kind of just need space and then you come back together.
Yeah. Yeah. It usually is something happens and that causes the conflict, and then I usually need some time to like process things and to like really think about like if like I just need to think about what to do next and like how to resolve the conflict. And so it can take longer for me to deal with stuff because if I just go on and talk, I will always say the wrong thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really good with words,
Mhm.
and so I really need time to think about conflicts and think about what we could both do to like resolve it and compromises and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say we kind of hit a lot of it. We're definitely not a couple where we choose to avoid like the hard conversations
You're not a
or like talking.
stuffer. Yeah.
No, yeah, no, not at
no,
all.
yeah, yeah,
We always work things out. So there's
Good.
a lot of conversations and just like learning what the other person likes and doesn't like and like what hurts their feelings or what are sensitive points where it's like I shouldn't talk about that or I shouldn't joke about that. Yeah,
yep, yep,
but I feel like we've made definitely a lot of growth because I do feel like in the first like 6 months of marriage, I do think there were a few times like both of us didn't respond very well and would like raise our voice a little or I'd be like, leave me alone. And obviously that's not what is healthy in a relationship, but it's
yeah,
about like learning the triggers and like really understanding the other person and how they deal with conflict and then learning to not take everything personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any, like, tips or tricks that you guys utilize in conflict? Like, sometimes Nick and I will, like, fist bump to show that we're done with conflict. Because sometimes I tend to keep, like, I don't know, bringing stuff up, and he's like, "I thought we talked about that already." So, yeah.
I don't really know. I'd say probably like tips and tricks,
Or strategies
or
or tools.
strategies, or I'd say a good thing is coming up with like a time that you want to talk about it, because like if you are somebody who processes internally, and I'd say a good thing is like, okay, I'll let you know, like come back in like an hour or something, and it'll be processed, something like that, maybe.
Oh, that's really cool.
That is such a good one. I'm so glad you thought of that. I think that was actually, we learned that one at the same marriage conference that we did, the like saying I love you before you like process things separately and before you have that conversation, just like the reassurance. And I think a lot of it was just talking about, and this isn't the case for all men and women,
Yeah.
but for most couples, like typically I think the man is more of like the internal processor and the woman is more of the external. And I do feel like women as well tend to like start to think through things a little more. I feel like I have a harder time letting go of something. Like you can be, or at least how I used to view it is like if we had conflict and you needed to process it, you would go play video games, right? And to me, I was like, wow, he really doesn't love me. Like we have conflict and he's playing video games. Like how can he play video games? And it's not like you weren't thinking about it, but you're able to like calmly think through it, or like I don't want to say set it aside. Do you feel like you would say you can if you need to? I don't think it bothers you.
Not necessarily, but
I don't know. I'm just spiraling. Like I can't like I don't want to stop crying, or I don't want to stop like freaking out, and my brain's just like going and going and going and going. And it's definitely a lot. There's definitely a lot more going on in my brain.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a good way of wording it. And so like the reassurance really helps with that, as well as giving me a time. So if there's conflict and I'm like, okay, he needs to process. I know he needs time to process. It will be like, okay, when do you want to talk about this? And he'll give me a time. And usually it's just like an hour and a half later. But I feel like this has even been helpful with like decision making. Sometimes when we're making a decision on something and like we've had the conversation and I feel like I'm set on what I want to do, but he's not sure yet. I will like ask like, when can I talk to you about this? Like when can I ask you about this? Because what will happen is I will nag him if that's not the case, and I'll be like, have you made a decision yet? Have you made a decision yet? Have you made a decision yet? And at some point it was kind of like, I don't know if you'd said it or if I put the word to it, but I was kind of like momming you. You know, like I was nagging, and I knew I was nagging, but it bothered me because I was like, when. And so finally, when it was like, okay, ask me on Saturday, we can have a conversation on Saturday. I'll have put this together by Saturday. We sit down Saturday. I don't ask him before, so there's less tension around it. And in the rare case you like ended up needing more time, you would before Saturday be like, hey, I'm still thinking, can I talk to you Sunday? But I don't even think that's ever happened because you guess well. I feel like you guess well.
What?
You guess how much time you'll need.
Well, I mean, I just say a time when I think I'll be able to, because I am so busy that if it's not school or work, I kind of just like forget about it. And so if there's if there's a decision that needs to be made, and it kind of leaves my brain because I have homework to do, I have to go to work, and so it helps me kind of put it in a place where it's like, okay, I need to do this.
That's what I mean by like you can set something aside in your brain.
Well, I don't set it aside. I just forget about it. Because once I remember it, it's like I realize I get like anxious about it or whatever. But
but I can't stop thinking about it. It's always in the back of my head, like unless I okay, there you
go. I just don't set it aside though. I just forget about it. So
okay, the definitions here are a little bit.
I was gonna say the definitions apparently are off, which makes sense, but it works for us.
Yeah, it works.
Even if our explanation's a little different.
Still on the same
We're
page.
just very different
Yep,
people.
It's tomato, tomato.
Yes,
I get
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
What's one thing you learned about the other person through conflict?
I think internal processor. I think communication style. What bothers them.
It kind of gives a little bit of insight on how her brain works and what she actually feels like when she says something. I don't know how to describe it. I'm really bad with words.
It's okay.
But it's like she'll say something, she'll do something, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's what she means by
Yeah,
that." Or
yeah.
because sometimes she gets super, anxious or freaked out about something, and then it just takes a little bit to calm her down, and she calms down. So it's just like a thing where it's like you kind of just learn.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that was really big. Is like external versus internal processors, or even just like styles of dealing with conflict. Because, like I said, like I'm very head on, which could be healthy, but like sometimes it also means like I'm gonna come and find you, and I'm gonna talk to you, and I'm gonna like I don't care if you're upset at me. Like let's talk. I don't care. And that's not like always a healthy thing, and it's
Yeah,
also
I'm the
not
same
healthy
way,
to
though.
corner people into having conversations with you. But like since my brain is spiraling, I'm like, oh, but I want to figure it out. But I want
Yeah.
to figure it out. So a lot of it was learning just like communication style and acknowledging
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like it's not all about me. And even though I want to talk about it now, it's actually not going to be as productive of a conversation as it would be if I waited until we were both ready.
Yeah, you probably don't freak out as much when Jose goes to a different room when you're in conflict now.
No, especially when he gives me reassurance or I mean, I know he loves me. I know he cares for me. Like even if we're upset at each other, actions have spoken that in the
Right.
last few years. I still appreciate the reassurance. It still does help me. But yeah, he's a great husband. So
How long did you guys date before you got married?
3.5
Engaged?
years.
It was 2.5 years
No, it wasn't.
till we got married or engaged.
Oh, just engaged.
Either or. So engaged first, I'll say.
Engaged would be 2.5 years, then 8 months after that. So almost
Well,
3
a little
years.
over 2.5 for engaged. Okay, so I'm gonna count January 2020 as us dating, okay?
Oh, okay. So you're cheating then.
Yeah, I'm cheating because we were basically dating. I'm gonna count January 2020 as us dating because we were basically dating. But if you want to count it as July, go for it. But if we're starting in January of 2020, we got engaged September of 2022, and then we got married June of 2023. Yeah.
Wow. Would you say
Yes.
that your communication relationship has dramatically changed or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Living with somebody definitely brings up more conflict, and that kind of forces you to grow in that way. Kind of like how throughout history, like warfare has completely changed
Right.
technology. So kind of the same way.
Yeah.
You can guess why he likes Risk Europe.
The analogy.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? I think also learning a lot more about each other's families, just over time and like how they deal with conflict gives a lot of insight because you really don't realize how much your upbringing affects you and your communication styles. Or like a lot of struggles that your parents have are just kind of passed down to you because that's what you've always seen.
Generational conflict.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's just like learning that about the other person, acknowledging it, helping them see it. Therapy has been, I think, helpful, even though we didn't like both of us have had therapy and it wasn't necessarily like because of conflict with each other, but even just like personal growth.
Yeah.
Helps with conflict so much because as you're learning to control your emotions better or like not take things out on other people or just growing.
Yeah. What would you say that you've learned about yourselves and just each other as a couple then from the past, how many, 4 years, 5 years?
We didn't live together before we were married. So when we got married, that was all new. And there are just so many little quirks that each of us have that that was kind of a funny conflict. The first week we were married, we thought about a box fan because he sleeps
box fan?
a box fan. He sleeps with a
Yep.
box fan on every single night. And he says he can't sleep without it.
Is it like the noise or like you get hot at night?
It's the noise, and I like the temperature gradient of the room being really cold while my sphere is really hot. So I like being able to lift my blanket up and like be like I'm in Antarctica type. Yeah.
You are an engineer, right?
I'm studying physics right now, but I will be
Same
studying
thing. Just
engineering.
kidding. It's
So
not.
Anyways, I thought that was the most insane thing ever because the box fan is really loud. I
Oh, yeah.
like the noise of a fan, but a box fan is really, really loud. And I literally was like, we are not sleeping with a box fan. This is ridiculous. You can sleep without a box fan. When you're at a hotel, you have to sleep without a box fan. So, like, I don't know why you're saying that. And I think we literally, like, kind of got upset at each other.
Yeah.
I mostly probably got upset at you.
You got upset at me.
I got
I like
upset. It
loud
wasn't a great
cars
moment.
and loud fans too. So
Yeah. And so I was like, no, no, no. And then finally I was like, okay, fine. And then now when I'm going to bed before him, I turn on the box fan.
Because you like the sound of it now?
Yeah.
I Pavlov
You
dogged
converted
her.
her.
He So this is honestly going to be a generational curse is because our kids, his parents sleep with the box fan. Our kids are going to grow up and they're probably going to have box fans and they're probably going to get married and their spouses are probably going to like hate us a little bit for it and they're probably going to have arguments and then they're probably going to end up sleeping with the box fan and it's just going to like continue on.
Yeah.
Generation
Good.
to generation.
A box fans.
Good. Yeah.
You can
But
but you can have like a wedding present for your kid now that says like
Yeah, box
blank and
fan.
blank. Like
Box
here's your
fan.
box
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
It's like a tradition.
Yeah. So I mean, we learn a lot about each other's quirks, like the box fan, or I mean, there are certain things that I'm really like type A about, like being clean. I wouldn't even say I'm super type A, but like some things can be messy, but some things like I want clean.
Are you a
Right.
shoe on the carpet kind of person? Or
Yes.
no?
No shoes on carpet.
Okay, yeah.
But
okay,
yeah.
type A.
Maybe I'm type A. I'm a type A with ADHD, so I don't like type A and a half. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so learn a lot of quirks about each other. I do feel like, especially like living with him for the first time or living with someone I was in a relationship with for the first time. I mean, you learn a lot of bad things about yourself too. Like it is just like you've grown up, you've gotten accustomed to your own things. You marry someone who has got such a different communication style and such a different way of living and just like different preferences. And like conflict happens and like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of room for growth where it's like the first 6 months we were dating and like I would raise my voice some, which is not okay. And it's like I didn't know I would do that. Like I always thought like I would deal with conflict so great all the time. And then you're kind of like, ugh, like I did that. Like I raised my voice. Like that's not cool.
Yeah.
And so that's something that like I've worked on and I don't think it's happened like recently.
Yeah, and then when you're dating, especially since
Yeah.
you didn't live together, you're like getting to know each other more on the roommate
Mhm.
aspect
Yeah.
and the relational aspect, and
Mhm.
not only that marriage too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like nobody wants to say that. Like nobody wants to be like, "Oh, you learn negative things about yourself when you get married." But it's just like that's how you grow. You know, like you realize the things that you do wrong or like that you don't deal with well because we all have them, right? Like that's something we're learning the whole time we're alive. It's just like growing and growing in communication and love for others and like growing in patience and all of that. But it is something that like if you are able to acknowledge and work on, like you're going to have so much more self-growth than if you just lived in denial. And that's often when things are passed on generationally because that's when kids are seeing that as like the example and they're growing up and they're treating their spouses like that. So there's a lot of value in I think in that.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a couple that's just starting out a marriage?
I'd really say you have to make a lot of compromises. Like you have to recognize your flaws and what you bring to the table and realize that your partner will bring flaws as well and kind of like reconciling that like how you expect things to be done, how you expect the house to look, all that stuff will have to be you'll have to you know work through that and talk about that, and it'll be hard at first. It's not gonna be perfect. Like I don't like we don't agree on like 100% on like house decor or something, but it's something that you kind of just have to like work on, you know. So
I think you and your boyfriend are coming over in a week or two, I think, and
Yeah.
you'll see, because I'm more of a minimalist
Yeah.
in decor and style, and he's very much a maximalist.
oh yeah,
So
like
then our
decorations even, or
yeah, and even just like keeping stuff. Like I'm not very sentimental. Like I have a few sentimental things, but like I don't want a collection of CDs. Like I don't want more clothes than I need. I don't want it to look cluttered. I want to like throw things away or give them away if I'm not using them, right? I'm not as materialistic as you. I'm sorry.
I mean, I
I mean,
wouldn't
I'm in
say
the
I'm
beauty. Okay, I'm in the beauty industry. Okay,
I'm not
like
really materialistic. I just like things. You know, there's some things I like you know, something that's cool. I want it.
you
know,
have
it's
the bigger
cool.
side of the closet.
That's not true. You have the longer shelf. So
I don't even know what you're talking.
your shelf is longer.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Her shelf is longer.
okay.
But anyways, so I had to learn to get over the fact that the apartment won't always look as clean and like nothing on the shelves or like very minimal things on the shelves. And now we have like 13 Lego cars.
But Legos are fun.
Those are
so,
fun. I know.
yeah.
And that's the thing is I was like, okay, this is fun. Like
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
love you. I'm gonna give people like he got literally most of his Christmas presents this last year were Lego cars.
Yep.
And I realized I'd given everybody the idea of Lego cars. I think you did get 13 Lego cars for Christmas.
I didn't count them.
So you
He
got that
literally got
many?
so many
Oh my
Lego cars,
goodness.
and I was like, why did I do this to myself? Because now these are all on my shelf.
You could
But it's
sell
like
them, can't you?
but
Like not.
I love him, and he loves Lego
Okay.
cars.
I guess
and
you
so
can collect them.
I collect them. I keep them there, and I
And you can,
race
like,
them around.
You can like frame them someday.
So I mean, we've had the things too where it's like I'll be like, hey, this is too messy. This feels like too much. Like, can you please like minimize how much of this you have? And he'll listen to me. And then there are the things that you really like that
Yep.
you've expressed, like, I really want to keep these. Like, this is a priority to me. And so I know that, like, even though I might not like it or prefer it, like,
Yeah.
it's just like you know what? You're your own individual. This is not only my space, but it's also yours. Like, we can compromise on that. Never stop dating each other.
Aw.
I would say never stop dating each other. And I feel like when you get married, it gets easy to not
Yeah.
go on dates or like make intentional time, or like for us, like I said, we like to watch a lot of reality TV, and quality time is I think my top love language. And so I enjoy reality TV, and to me it's like it's kind of quality time, but it's not like quality time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so we go on a date every month,
Oh.
and we alternate who plans the date every month. So I really enjoy that. And I think like right now we don't have any kids. I know that gets harder when you have kids. So even just already being in those like mindsets
Yeah.
or having that routine as you're going into busier stages of life, I think is very valuable, because if you are not dating your spouse, it can get easy to feel like you are truly just roommates.
Yeah. And just having
Yeah,
that
yeah.
intentional time.
Like you love each other, but kind of bored, or I don't know. It sparks things back up.
Get some novelty in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we move on to rapid fire questions, what's one thing that you guys are looking forward to as a married couple?
I'd say just kind of, I guess starting, for me anyways, it's like starting our own family with like our own traditions and stuff, like how we both grew up, doing, you know, family traditions and stuff, you know, like doing that ourselves, and,
Oh.
you know, having a house with a dog or something and a garage.
Don't you have a cat
I
right
can't
now?
wait to have a garage.
We have a cat, but we'd love a cat and a dog.
and a garage.
You have 2 cars, right?
Yeah.
He would love a 3-car garage. We'll see if he gets his wishes.
If not, I'll build one.
I think I'd say the same thing. Like, one of my biggest fears in life is, and this is something I'm working on, and I don't know why, is like getting old. I don't know why. It freaks me out. And I'm in the beauty industry. It's not even like a vanity thing. It freaks me out. But I think about getting old with you, and that's exciting to me. Just like being able to like do life with you, because he is my best friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Okay, guys. So some rules of rapid fire is basically you guys You can have a little bit of commentary, but don't take like 2+ minutes to think about it. But just say whoever you like. Say whatever comes to your mind first.
Do you want to
Okay.
go first or do you want me to go first for each one?
I mean, I think it's just like
It's like rapid fire.
say it,
Yeah.
just
And
put it
then if
out.
you disagree, that's where it's like funny.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
who said I love you first?
I don't know.
It was me. I sent it in a little sticker. It said, "I love you."
That is so Gen Z. Like on Snapchat?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Who's the better cook?
Me.
Him.
Who is the better cleaner, or who is the most clean?
Me.
She's the most clean.
Who takes longer to get ready?
Me.
Her.
Me.
Who feeds your cat in the early morning?
Auto feeder.
Auto feeder. But he usually feeds the cat if we're both home.
I feed the cat at night.
Okay. What's your guys' love language?
Quality time and physical touch.
Acts of service.
So different.
Different. Very different.
Who's always late?
Both of us. Me, probably more than you.
Mariah.
I think we both are often. But okay, no, me.
It's Mariah.
Me.
Mountains or beach for a date?
Mountains.
Wow, that was easy.
We went to Colorado Springs on our honeymoon.
Yes.
And then who is most likely to fall asleep first?
Him.
Me.
I'm a bad
Really?
sleeper.
Yeah, I fall asleep like that.
Are you a night owl?
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes him like less than 5 minutes. Like it'll take him like more, like 10 minutes, and I'll be like, oh, I couldn't fall asleep last night. And like usually it takes me like on average 15 minutes, but often it'll take me 30, and some nights it'll take me 2 hours. So
Wow.
yeah.
Are you guys both like you both are night owls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
don't recommend.
No?
I mean, you can't really change that.
I
It's just what you
know.
prefer.
No, I know.
Okay,
But like
well,
you're a bad influence on me because like I'll be like, I want to go to bed earlier, and then you'll be staying up late, and then I'll be like, okay, well he's staying up late, so even though I have to get up early tomorrow, I'm gonna stay up with him, which is a me problem. But it'd be a lot easier if you weren't a night owl.
well, you also need more sleep than I do, so.
It's true.
How many hours do you need?
7 or 8.
Yeah,
Ideally,
isn't
eight.
that normal?
I do like 5 to 7.
Say.
I feel like you usually get 7, but he's definitely had seasons
Usually
of life
6.
where he was getting 5 or 6 a night, and he
Yeah.
was honestly fine, and I'm jealous of that.
Crazy. Well, thank you guys so much for being
Of
on my
course.
podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.